sort out what these top secret documents do tell us, setting aside that this was an unprecedented release of information. But depending on your point of view, there's a little something in it for everyone.
Sure. So, Hallie, this FISA document, which is perhaps one component of a much, much larger investigation, has really become kind of a political fulcrum for people to either attack or support the investigation that's going on, looking into allegations of Russian collusion and looking into these allegations about any possible involvement with the Trump campaign. On one hand, for folks that say, well, this FISA warrant shouldn't have been approved because it comes from somebody who is putting together a dossier, and that dossier is unverified, and as the president tweeted, is he believes that it's fake. It's clear, and it's clear from the document that information that was derived from Christopher Steele was part of the FISA. It was not all of the FISA. It was a floor of the House, but the FBI had already established a foundation and was well on its way of building a house, if you want to use that analogy, Hallie. So that's on one side of it. Folks can say, well, the dossier was used to put together this FISA warrant. On the other hand, folks have criticized the FISA application, including some members of the House, saying that that the FBI never disclosed to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, the judges that approved these warrants, saying that where the information came from. And actually, I want to be able to show you here. We've prepared it, a bit of the warrant where it actually specifically says, Hallie, in the FISA application, it says that the FBI knows where this information is coming from. It's somebody who's provided them reliable information in the past. But hey, this information is being derived from somebody who's being paid to get the information. And we speculate, this is the FBI's words, we speculate that the person paying for this information is trying to discredit candidate one, who's Donald Trump, in this FISA application. So, you know, for both sides that have criticized it, saying, hey, the FBI was forthright with the judge, there's information in there. For folks that have attacked this FISA application, saying, hey, you know, some of the information that helped build the FISA application came from the dossier, and the person that prepared that's in there too. So that's why both sides have something to talk about here.
But it's not a total both sidesism, right? Because you do have these this question now surrounding the man on the floppy hat himself, Carter Page. He was out on the Sunday show's Clint talking with, I think it was CNN's Jake Tapper. I want to play you what he had to say. Listen.
This is so ridiculous. It's just beyond words. You know, it's you're talking about misleading the courts. It's just so misleading. I've never been an agent of the foreign power by any stretch of the imagination.
So, Clint, Carter Page is doing what he's done before, denying any wrongdoing. He says he's sort of distancing himself as well from the Trump campaign, despite at one point calling himself an informal advisor, saying, now, well, that was exaggeration, that was spin. Explain, though, why the release of this application is so unprecedented, because the fact that this is out at all is very significant.
Right. FISA applications are sealed in secret because you're actually trying to protect the person that oftentimes is being investigated. Remember, a FISA application is pursuing probable cause, which is not an indictment. This is oftentimes confused in the public. You are looking for probable cause to extend an investigation. In this case, they didn't know exactly, but they had worries about it because Page had been targeted by Russian intelligence services before. So whenever he showed up again in the orbit of other Russian intelligence service personnel, they wanted to go ahead and investigate that. That's the probable cause for looking into this. What we don't know in the FISA application is there are hundreds of other pages of information there, lots of documentation, and this dossier issue was not the single source for the FISA application, as they'd like to try and convince you in the public. FISA applications, not only is there lots of source information, multiple sources, it's also designed in this case for counterintelligence, which is to protect the target. So one of the things they would be looking is the Russian government trying to penetrate the Trump campaign? Or is Page potentially being targeted unwittingly, as he claims before, in an espionage effort? So there's multiple layers to this, multiple reasons why you would want to go up on it. And in the context of the investigation, Paul Manafort, Carter Page, Papadopoulos, all within that month, Page showing up on stage in Moscow. This is a very large document, and I hope the public understands it is an investigative tool, is not an indictment.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.